Hey guys, this is going to be a review of episode 8 of book 4 of Korra, Remembrances. Obviously, there's not a ton to talk about in this episode because it's pretty much just flashbacks and a recount of the story to this point, which would be a lot more disappointing if it weren't for the fact that Brian, and I'm almost positive it was Brian, and not Mike, although I probably should have double checked to make sure that I was right about that, but I'm pretty sure it was Brian, posted on Tumblr a story about what happened. Basically, what apparently happened is Nickelodeon cut their budget at the last minute, almost for as much money as it takes to produce an entire episode. So they had two options, which was either to make this a clip filler episode and therefore use a lot of old footage, or to let a ton of their staff go earlier than they would have had to before, and then obviously they wouldn't have income for. So basically it was paying their staff or doing this and basically it was either paying their staff and doing this or letting their staff go and having a better episode, and they chose their staff, and I think that that was a good choice. I think most people agree that that was a good choice. So basically the fact that we have a filler episode instead of like an actual more story intensive episode, I guess, is basically Nickelodeon's fault, which isn't surprising at this point. I think everyone is just, everyone's always angry at Nickelodeon, but I think everyone's especially angry with Nickelodeon. I'm not sure how I would have felt about this episode had I not known all of that going in, but I think because we had the story ahead of time and I knew what the episode was going to be when I went into it, I think I went a lot easier on it, and I did really enjoy it. Like, for what it was really well done, I think. The little chibi characters that popped up on the screen during the clips when they were talking were adorable. Like, I loved those. I thought that that was like a really nice touch, and I really liked that aspect, and they were just so cute, and I loved that aspect of it, and I love that they did that. But so basically this episode is kind of divided into 3 different sections, and the first one is Mako telling the story, and there was so much Korra in Mako's story. Like, there was stuff with him and Asami too, but I loved that, and you cannot tell me that he does not still have feelings for Korra. And when he told Prince Wu that he hadn't dated anyone in since Korra, which is 3 years, like, he hasn't dated anyone for 3 years, which is probably a good thing after the whole Korra Asami thing. He probably needs a break from any sort of relationship thing, but just, guys, I want them back together so badly, and I loved the amount of Korra that we got in that section, and Mako's grandmother being there too made that really great, and her commentary on his mistakes with dealing with Korra and Asami were adorable, and I loved that. What was really interesting to me is I'm pretty sure that Korra and Asami's section of the episode was the shortest. I didn't actually time them or anything, but I'm pretty sure that that was the shortest section of the episode, even though Korra's the main character, so I thought that that was interesting. The biggest thing with that scene is them talking about Toph's comments to Korra. I have a very, very hard time believing that Toph actually thinks that the Avatar isn't necessary, considering she trained Aang and helped him defeat the Fire Lord. When the Fire Lord was getting ready to destroy the Earth Kingdom, so I have a hard time believing that she actually thinks that the Avatar is completely unnecessary, unless I'm missing something here, especially since she's living in the swamp and apparently more connected to the spiritual now. I have a hard time believing that she actually thinks that, and I feel like Korra's just really taking that comment to heart because she's already discouraged, obviously, but I'm still hoping for Toph coming back and seeing her again, and I just love every single time that she's brought up. ever. I also really love Tenzin reassuring Korra in this section because it was just really cute, and I really like the relationship that they have. It's interesting to me because he really is like a father figure, and usually when you have surrogate father figures in stories like this, the actual father isn't there, but Korra does have a dad who like factors into the story and everything, and she has like a really good relationship with him. Yeah, but Tenzin is like an extra father figure, and I think that that's an interesting dynamic that I haven't seen a whole lot, because you normally when you have like a surrogate father figure like that, it seems like the character's actual father isn't in the picture, like usually dead, I think, but I really like the relationship, and I really thought that that was a cute scene, and him telling her about how she's grown, and it was cute. I feel like I have to mention this because I know that the Korra shippers are going like insane over the, well, not insane, but they're like really excited about this part. Like they're really excited about anytime Korra and Asami are together, and I feel like I got more Korra vibes from this section of the episode than I have at any other point. Like I was very aware of it because I'm not a Korra shipper, so I don't usually think about it when I'm watching the episode, even when Korra and Asami are interacting, but I was thinking about it during that clip, and I'm not entirely sure why. So there was that. And then the last section of the episode was Varric recounting the story as if Bolin was the hero, which I would be perfectly fine with. I thought that was really fun. I really like it because Bolin has kind of like in the past, especially like in the earlier episodes, kind of seemed to be pushed to the background some. So now him being pulled and being like the hero of this like fake story that Varric was telling was really, really fun for me. But also I found it very interesting that Bolin is very adamant the entire time, like, this does not make sense, Varric, like, what are you saying, this doesn't make sense, when he was perfectly fine with the movies that he made before that also made like no sense, and he like never seemed to acknowledge that. But now it like kind of symbolizes a shift to me. And just like from before, when he wanted to be the center of attention, and which I think was justified in a way since he had been pushed aside so much, but like he didn't care about whether or not the movies he was in made sense or anything, he just liked the attention. And now he's like being put into the center of attention again, and I don't think that he's reacting the ways that he would have like last season or the season before. He's more like, he's just very aware, like, this doesn't make sense, this makes no sense at all, and like he's not taking in the attention in the same way that I think he would have before. And I think there are a number of reasons for that. Like, he's more concerned with Kuvira right now, he's more concerned with Opal and the fact that she is mad at him, and I also think that he just has more confidence, and I think that this is very, very important for Bolin's character. Like, I feel like he needed reassurance as being the center of attention before because he didn't have confidence himself, so he needed to get it from other people, and so like he would eat up any sort of attention that he got, and now he has more confidence on his own. Like, he's obviously very upset and thinks that he's screwed up, but I still think that there's like this inner sense of confidence there that he has of his own. Like, he has his own confidence inside of him, so he doesn't need it from other people, and he doesn't need praise, and especially like unfound praise that makes no sense, like the story. Like, obviously it's still great to get compliments, so he like still, I'm sure, would love being complimented for something that he's actually accomplished, but he has enough confidence now, I feel like, after this 3-year break and everything that's happened in the past, and being a lava bender now too, I think has a lot to do with it, that he doesn't need to accept like this blind praise that makes no sense, because he knows that it doesn't apply, and he's done other things that are more like noteworthy, I guess. So I just think that it's such, I know this is such a long rant to go on for a filler episode, but I do think that like a little bit was really important, like said a lot about how Bolin has developed as a character, and I really love that. And as much as I loved him getting attention because I thought that he needed it, I also really like the idea of him being more confident now, and so he doesn't like need to be praised abundantly because he has like his own confidence. So yeah, that was something that I thought about that was probably much deeper than I've ever thought about a filler episode, but there's that. So yeah, like I said, this was obviously a filler episode, and you can tell it's like the most obvious filler episode you can possibly get, and just most of it was flashbacks, but I really did enjoy the characters explaining the story. I think Korra and Asami's was the hardest to get through because Mako and Varric, since he was the main one telling that story, were talking to people who didn't necessarily know the story, so it didn't sound like, this is stupid, why are you telling them that? Whereas Korra telling the story to Asami made no sense because Asami was there to me, so that was the hardest section to get through, but it made up for it because I really liked the part with Tenzin. So overall, I did think that this episode was really well done. I'm not angry about it with anyone except Nickelodeon because I know the backstory. I don't know how I would feel if I didn't know why they had to do this episode, but since I do, I'm not really bothered, except being angry at Nickelodeon, but I'm always angry at Nickelodeon, and I'm really looking forward to the next episode and getting back to like an actual storyline. And yeah, I think that's all. So I will see you guys later. Bye.